In this video, I'm using D5 Render and Rhino 3D. I'm going to show you how to do an animation, not like you're seeing with just the camera moving around, but actually making objects move. In this case, having these cabinet doors rotate open and closed. It's a little bit complicated, and the first caveat about this video is there might be a better way of doing this, either one that already exists, or with D5 progressing as it is, there might be a way better way in the near future. I did do a good search and haven't found a better way. The second caveat, however, is that I don't use the D5 Render plugin for Rhino. One reason for that is that when I do renders, I want everything else shut down. I do this off a laptop, right? So when I'm doing complex scenes, I don't want to have Rhino open. So you might have a way better time of this if you do have that plugin installed. But if you're just doing relatively simple things like you see here, I think the method you see in this video is going to be just fine. But do make sure you do read the comments below. Someone might have a way better way. If you do have a way better video, I won't be offended if you post a link to it. Just the only video I found on this was incomplete and an AI voiceover, so I think this is better than anything I could find in like a 20-30 minute search, right? So here it is. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's make this happen. Okay, so we'll start off from within Rhino. Basically, all we got to do here is separate any object that we want to animate. In this case, it's going to be the cabinet doors, of course. I'm going to call this one the left side, this one the right side, whatever the user, or I guess in this case, cabinet door opener is facing. So left, right. We'll do is export. I already have them, the ones from earlier today, the ones from trying to make a YouTube video already that went sour on me, but anyways, we'll keep going. But yeah, so all I'll do is export this one, export this one. So I have another Rhino session open. You can see I have the door right here. I have the common origin points. In this case, that won't work. There's certain animations you can do where that might work for you, but we're going to do a rotation, the door swinging open, so we'll have to move it around manually. Like I said, read the comments below, make sure there's not a better way of doing this, because I hate making a video and then seeing that, oh wow, my way that takes 10 minutes can be done in 30 seconds. And technology moves fast, but like at the time of recording this, I looked into it and could not find a better way of doing this. So yeah, let's get her done. Anyways, I'll go into D5. What I'll do is I'll just go here, and I'm gonna do reload because I'm one step ahead of the game here. So I'll just reload that and ramble on for a little bit. Yeah, when you're not recording, this takes half the time. So there we go. Now we're in business. So just a couple quick things here. First, when I first started D5, I didn't realize the difference between this and this. Usually once you import an object, you'll click here, you'll insert it into the drawing. If I click this, it'll load just as slow as you just saw it loading. It won't insert an instance instantaneously. Here is where you do all the operations on object. And the one thing I have done is sync coordinates. And what that's going to do is just make the common base point common. So 0 is relative to all these files, I guess. It's supposed to be. So where this is the same relative to this, meaning in here, when we separate this out, we'll be able to sync the coordinates of that door and have it show up right there. Now, just a warning, that won't work for what we're doing. We're going to have to do some manual placement. So in that case, it might be easier for you to leave these here for now, and then you can use them to align your doors, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I got a couple tricks that seem to work out well for me. So anyways, we'll go back into our, I'm going to call this the base file. I'm going to delete these. I'm going to save it. Go back into D5. Right click on this. Don't worry about this unless you want 2 kitchens or I guess 2 base scenes. So I'll just go back here. We'll do reload. And those doors should disappear after I hit confirm. And we'll just load again. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't have time to speed up the video through all those loadings. But yeah, there we go. So those doors have disappeared. Next, remember I got both these doors already exported. And just a quick review, all I did is click the item, type export, and it'll just export a file that shares the same base point as this file. So if I import those doors, they'd come straight back into this file, right in the place I exported them. That can help you in D5 if we're doing an animation that wasn't a rotation, that wasn't really reliant on a base point. For example, if we just wanted to fly off the screen or have it disappear and reappear, stuff like that, it would work fine. But unfortunately, we got to do the rotation, which is kind of a more tricky version, or a more tricky animation, I guess. Enough talking, let's make her happen. Okay, let's start with the right door. I'll go open. So now it's in the drawing. I think it would be loaded, but it doesn't, so I'll click. Load really fast because it's just a little object. And so my base point is just, it defaults to putting the base point on like the lower surface of the object, which works really good, I think. But we'll just plop it there. You can see, right? But it's not really where we want it. So if you were doing that animation where you just want this to disappear, we'll go to object, we'll go to right click, and we'll go to sync coordinates. So that plops it right in that same place. Now here's the issue. We want to rotate about a base point anywhere along this axis, like where the hinge would be. And I know like newer cabinets, they have those fancy hinges that effectively move the theoretical hinge point actually out here somewhere so that the cabinet doesn't interfere with the door. But we're going to have like our swing basically right almost at this vertex right here of this surface, right? So we could right click on this and go to sync pivot, but then it jumps straight to that base point. So this is kind of the part that sucks. I'm going to delete this. Just clear this out of our file. Delete. We'll go here, and unfortunately, I got to move this to 0, 0, 0. But wherever you want that pivot, that's where you want your, I guess, the origin of the exported piece. I'll save this. I guess I could have just reloaded. I didn't actually need to delete that door. So I'll just get that back in the drawing. Open. Stick it in. So this time we're not going to do sync coordinates, but we're going to do sync pivot. And now we have to manually place it. Fortunately, I got to really flex my laptop here because I can't see anything, and that smooth mode is more too broke to upgrade mode. Okay, let's get her. See if we can get her done. So since these cabinet doors are symmetrical, and luckily I have 2 materials here, I got a good reference. So that's pretty close to where I need it. So normally I wouldn't, for like a professional render scene, I wouldn't do this. Let's see, can I flip it? Okay, we'll flip it and then we'll rotate it. 180. Then I don't actually have to insert the left. That'll work. So you can see it's not taking that long, but there's got to be a better way. So if I'm being a dummy here, wasting time, let me know in the comments. I'll take absolutely no offense to it. I'm sure D5 will get a better system going. Yeah, because if you could just move this map, there might be a way, like maybe right click on it or something. I don't know. I've tried a few different things and it just was not happening. But anyways, we got these placed. You can see the coordinates here. So if for some reason these are out of line, like your one was higher than the other, you could just look at that number, stick that number there. Same with the X or the Y if one's too far back or forward. But I think just if you have the cabinets, you could just flip them. Kind of see what it's done to my textures here, especially the wood. That's why on the actual scene I imported each one individually, and that ended up looking way better just because the wood grain doesn't do that mirror effect, right? So okay, we got that all sorted. We can actually finally get into doing the animation. So why it shot me all the way back there, I have no idea. Probably because I have to do a new... Did it just name that same name as my first clip? Okay, whatever. So let's go really quickly through this. Do another one. Make another one. Order's not too important here, but I find like my video gets really screwed up. Just starting over's a little bit easier. But yeah, so the important part here is that as we do this video, we'll zoom in, have the doors start opening right around here. So I'll do is make a add keyframe. Click this one too, add keyframe. Go to the point where we want those doors fully open. Let's say here. So I'll click here. So it says rotation is 0. We'll pay attention to this number right here and to the amount we rotate it. Let's do 110. There we go. Same with this one. We'll do 110. There we go. And I forgot to add a keyframe, so I'm going to have to do that again. Okay, there we go. Add a keyframe. Same thing. Order is important, everyone. Do not click anywhere else before you click that add keyframe. Add keyframe. There we go. Now we're in business. That's not looking too bad. So now what I want to do is I'll close them without adding another keyframe. So what we want to do is add a keyframe when they start to close. This is going to start to close at this point in the video, so we'll add a keyframe. Same with this one, add a keyframe. Keep going to the point where we want them fully closed. Let's do that about here. So remember I rotated that 110. Oops, I can just probably just click 0 there. Oops, 180. There we go. That should put them back. Looks misaligned. Let's click something else. No, that's okay. And you know what I just did? I forgot to add the keyframe after doing that, but whatever, I'll do 0. Add keyframe. At least this time I'm just typing in a number rather than meticulously getting that perfect rotation. There we go. I think we got our bead. Yeah, so the important thing here is just add those keyframes after you manipulate the object. Make sure to, you can do it before you mess with the object too, I believe. So with this, all that's left to do is basically render your animation. But yeah, before really get into this, just make sure there's no updates to D5. Make sure I'm not missing something as far as placing that pivot manually. Like maybe you can customize the location of it. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'm missing something. So don't take this as the best way of animating doors. I know I saw one video that didn't explain it right, didn't give enough information, didn't tell you enough. That's kind of what the reason I'm making this video. But yeah, definitely reading the comments, maybe someone will help us out here, find a better way, because the rate at this program D5 is progressing. I'm amazed that this wasn't that hard. It's late, I'm tired, I had a big week, but still, I bet you either already or in the near future they'll have a better way of making this sort of thing happen. Anyways, well, thanks very much for putting up with my late night video creating. And I'll mention that the file you're seeing is something I might upload to Gumroad pretty soon, just something for mainly for Rhino users, just so we have objects to throw into a scene such as this one, right? So I'm gonna make a video on that, so stay tuned for that, I guess. And I'll leave off by saying thanks very much for watching.